Welcome to your source for research, innovation, news, insights, and commentary. This is your Research Business Daily Report, where we're sponsored today and this week by Decision Analyst, delivering a synergistic blend of primary research, analytic consulting, and modeling. Plus, now an exciting new multi-language verbatim coding service. We'll have details for you shortly. On September 30th, Nielsen completed its acquisition of Arbitron, and at the time it told analysts it had identified $20 million in synergies. Well, this past Friday, some of those synergies began kicking in at Arbitron, which is now known as Nielsen Audio. Baltimore Business Journal news media editor Ryan Sharrow reported 333 employees in Columbia, Maryland will lose their jobs at Arbitron on January 14th of next year. 860 have been employed in local Baltimore offices. There are other unconfirmed reports that as many as 500 of Arbitron's total 1,000 employees may be laid off. Next, last week 2020 Research emailed me this picture, and it shows their latest innovation. I don't think I waited 2 minutes before we contacted 2020 CEO Jim Bryson to tell us about what looks like an online focus group consisting of Facebook followers.
We just introduced virtual intercepts actually in the last few days, but we've been doing webcam interviewing, video interviewing, both on computers and by mobile phones. We have a mobile streaming product as well for several years now. Yeah, actually, a few months ago, we actually introduced what we call in-home mobile ethnographies, which allows a researcher to actually talk to a respondent in their home on their mobile phone as they walk around their home. They can show them their refrigerator, their pantry. A researcher sitting on their couch can literally look under 11 sinks in a single day all over the world. So it makes
obviously do it at retail locations too.
Well, you can if it has a good Wi-Fi. You really need a good Wi-Fi connection to be able to do it that can handle the streaming. So if you can get that Wi-Fi connection, you can do it anywhere. We've tried it in stores and in retail locations. You have to go to places like Starbucks or somewhere that has a good Wi-Fi. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good experience.
What's been the client reaction to that kind of interviewing so far?
It's been great because so far most of what they get has been recorded video. The researcher will say, hey, go to your refrigerator and record something and then send it back to me. Well, that's great, but you get a lot of junk in that kind of thing. This way they can actually interview them, and the clients love that live interaction because they can view almost like they're behind a one-way mirror, and they can view it too, and they can have interaction with the moderator and talk about what's going on.
Okay. Now, what caught my eye, as I said to you, is the connection with doing research via what I describe as an online focus group with people who are on Facebook. Explain what that's all about.
That's right. And this is actually what we call virtual intercepts. And essentially what we do is we have some proprietary technology that allows us to link from Facebook or some other social media, allows us to link into a screener or directly into an opt-in page. And that drops them into a virtual lobby. And the respondents can then wait there. And the technicians can ask them questions, but they can wait in a queue. And once the moderator then who is doing interviews via webcam, once the moderator is free, the next person in the queue can then be interviewed. And so it's a way to really do a lot of interviews very quickly from Facebook. From Facebook fans. Generally what happens is a brand has a Facebook page and we pull people in from that page, but often we're looking for something a little bit more specific like heavy users. So we'll drop them into a screener. If they then qualify, we let them opt in, and then they're eligible to go into the interview. Respondents actually love it because if they have an opportunity to opt in, once they opt in, they go into a waiting room, and we've had them wait for quite a long time. We've done some beta testing to see how people respond.
Don't tell me you're abusing respondents too.
So it's worked really, really well, and they get a chance to be interviewed, and people like to give their opinions, yeah. And it works great, and they get an incentive for it. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Okay, if you can, where are you going next with this?
We're probably going to go to surveys next because we have the ability actually to go to quantitative providers. And with very similar technology, we have the capability to take respondents out of a quantitative survey that answer questions in a certain way. Let's just say something simple like are dissatisfied in a satisfaction tracking study, and drop them into, once they opt in, drop them into a lobby where someone can actually be interviewing them and not only find out why they're dissatisfied, but begin to explore what they can do to solve those problems for those dissatisfied people. It's a video interview. Yeah, this is all live video interviews. And one of the great things about it is not only is it instant turnaround, but because the recruiting is done in the survey or on Facebook, it's a relatively low cost solution. Low cost and fast has a lot of appeal.
In closing, today we have the sad news from EastBayRI.com that John Anderson, for 33 years, the market research manager for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island, passed away this past Thursday. Anderson was 78. That's your Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by Decision Analyst, delivering a synergistic blend of primary research, analytic consulting, and modeling. And now Decision Analyst has introduced Nuance, a multi-language verbatim coding service that helps companies quantify the meaning of open-ended answers. You can find out about Nuance by clicking on the link in the content box directly beneath today's video. Have a great research day, and we'll see you all tomorrow.